Hey everybody, it's a week out from today's Saturday. We're going to do our 4th of July on actually July 1st this year because it falls on a Wednesday. So I'm a week out from the 4th of July and I'm ready to kind of walk everybody through what I've got set up here. And before I do that, I just want to thank everybody for watching. I've really been amazed at how many people are interested in backyard fireworks types of things, and really appreciate. I get some great feedback from everybody, and that's much appreciated. So thank you for watching. And if I hate when people ask to subscribe, but if you like it, subscribe. If you don't subscribe. I don't care. Either way, I appreciate you watching. So we'll start off here. My first board, 1A, so number 1 ignition, and the first board is A of that ignition, is some 200 gram cakes and neon tracer that fires straight up. This year I actually captured the audio from Disney World's 4th of July celebration. I've timed this up to that, so that'll be pretty interesting. 1B is all 350 gram cakes in the front, so I get 4 of those, and 500 gram cakes in the back, 4 of those as well. That's 162 seconds. First board was 110, forgot to cover that. 1C is a total of 5 350 gram cakes and 4 200 grams in the center there. These do go off simultaneously, but it's 210 seconds for this board. That flows into 1D, 150 second board, a little over a couple of minutes. And 500 gram cakes on this one all the way across. So I've got a total of 8 500 gram cakes, and including one massive willow, which is one of my personal favorites. 1E is a 90-second board. This one has 2 massive willows on it and a couple other 500 gram cakes, along with a fan spray of neon tracers. 1F, 64-second board, so just a hair over a minute on this one. We've got 3 500 gram cakes and 4 350 gram cakes that run simultaneously. So I'll have a velocity and an overdrive going off at the same time as it's firing off the 3 500. So pretty good pace on that one. I've also got a 25 shot missile battery, which is what I use to tell me that I'm at the end of my main ignition, because 1F is the last letter in the first ignition. So you'll see I do have them timed out. It gets you close, but it doesn't get you perfect. So I know when I'm making my audio track and my audio file, I know that I need roughly this many minutes and this many seconds of board. So I make my audio track longer than it needs to be. And I use the missiles to indicate when I'm going to be on that last cake, so I know I can be ready to fade out of the music, so it kind of looks professional. You can't get it perfect, you can get it real close, but the missiles help you get it perfect. Behind that, you'll see my 3 mortar racks, and I follow along on a piece of paper that tells me what second to fire each one of these electronic ignitions to match up with the music. There's a 7-second delay between the time I push the button and the time I get my brakes, so that's already built into my timing sheet. I've got that all figured out. This is broken down into, this first one is broken down into 5 shots, 5 different ignitions, and there's 4 shots in each ignition, and those are done in a spray using perfect fuse. That's why they're taped off too, because this might fire at minute or 30 seconds into the show, and the one right next to it may be sitting there for the next 5 minutes, and I don't want it igniting by sparks coming up out of the mortar rack. Same thing on the one to the right of it. That's 9 shots, I believe, broken into 3 sections, and the last one is 24 shots broken into just one ignition on that one. So that's a big cake. And what I did with this one is I run perfect fuse when I'm doing a long one like this. It's basically just a really big version of a cake. So I run perfect down one side. I take the fuse here and I cut 3 inches off it. I cut 2 inches off this fuse. I cut 1 inch off this fuse. So as it ignites, it's igniting this one first, about a second later it's igniting this, and about a second later it's igniting this, which then brings you to this one, so on and so forth, all the way down the rack. So over 20 seconds it's basically shooting, try that a third time, it's basically shooting a shot every 0.9 seconds. It makes for a really nice cake. So we'll go back and take a look at my pre-finale, or I don't know what you'd actually call this. I call it a pre-finale. It's basically just like your show, but it's bumped up, and the audio track's a little bit more intense, that type of thing. So 2 ways where we start here, and on this one we simultaneously fire the Sky Ballet along with 2 350-gram cakes. This board will last just a hair under a minute, 58 seconds, and that puts off a decent amount of stuff in 58 seconds. That flows into 2B. 2B is a massive willow 500 gram, 3 200 grams, and then similar to my mortar racks, I've got a poor man's rack here with the same principle, just put in much more of a fan. But my center line runs on perfect fuse, and I run quick fuse down the line to each one of these, and I've got them trimmed at the different lengths, because the fuses that they give you on these shells are longer than they need to be, unless you're hand firing them. You want the delay, but if you're not hand firing them like this, you don't need the delay. You can manage that length of fuse however you want to get the effect that you're looking for without having to use your own fuse and timing it and getting all tricky. Just cut the fuse based on what you need. Again, from a safety perspective, just make sure you're not hand firing it. Otherwise, you should not ever touch the length of the fuse. That's your time to run. That goes into 2C, and 2C has 2 350s, 2 500s, 2 neon tracers set at an angle, and it's the last ignition, or the last board on ignition 2. So you'll see another little 25 shot of missiles, which all that is doing is, this is an ongoing one. It goes right into the finale. So when I hear these missiles, I just fire ignition 3, and on ignition 3 there's 2 boards. There's 3 right hand and there's 3 left hand. These boards are identical in their layout. I've got diamonds in the sky and a zipper cake. I've got 6 500-gram cakes arranged exactly the same way on both boards, and with no delay built into any of these. So this board goes off in 38 seconds, all simultaneously. Along with that board going off in 38 seconds, all simultaneously. So what you end up with is a whole lot of shells going up in the air at once. They're going to match left and right hand side. I like the symmetry in that look too. And yeah, should make for a hell of a finale. That's I didn't count the shots here, but that's a lot of shots per second. So and again, the symmetry of seeing that on the left and the right should really look nice, and get the fan spray going back and forth on each side. I think that's going to be really pretty. I'm excited to see how that looks. Got my audio system down anyway. The case weighs 200 pounds, so that thing's a blast to move, but it's on casters, so I don't actually have to lift it, which is good. Yeah, and that's about it. So just gonna kind of go through and double check all my stuff over the next week or so, and I've got a lot more stuff, lighting and things like that, to bring down, and tables and all the crap to get ready. It's a lot of work, as most of you know that put on a 4th of July show, but it's worth it. It's a lot of money, and this show is going to be 15 minutes, and a lot of money per minute if you break it down, but to see the smile on my face, it's just as big as the kids that are watching it. So I really enjoy it, and I appreciate everybody watching. If you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to write a comment. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And once again, really appreciate you watching the videos, and have a great 4th of July if I don't see you between now and then or talk to you. Bye-bye.